And we're live. It is Friday, July the 3rd, year of our Lord 2026. It is 8 o'clock a.m. And folks, I just want to tell you a little bit about what I go through to put the show on every morning. This morning, I thought to myself, we missed Canada Day. It's the eve of July 4th, which is July 4th as celebrated, which is July 3rd, which is a weird concept because celebrating July 4th on not July 4th is kind of like celebrating Canada Day on Mexico Day. And it would be a good day to have Canadians on the show because that way we could celebrate not Canada Day on the same day as we celebrated not July 4th. There was a nice symmetry to it. So I sent a note to the Canadian co-hosts asking each of them if they would come on, and was, of course, ghosted by Ev Gamon because Ev is often asleep. Also because Ev believes that ghosting is a fundamental human right and will tell you so herself. But Alicia Wanless does not believe in such things. And she wrote me back some excuses. And we ended up in a bit of an argument with Mike Feinberg about whether we were guilting Alicia or not. And I just want to say I cannot make anybody feel guilt. I can only lay out facts related to their obligations and their meeting those obligations. If they translate those facts into a feeling of guilt, that is entirely, 100% their own cognitive process that I have nothing to do with. So when I point out the reality that Alicia is today shirking her obligations to appear before you and discuss the fact that it is not Canada Day and it is not July 4th. By the way, most days are not Canada Day and not July 4th. There are really only 2 days that don't meet that criteria. When I point that out and she experiences guilt, I just want to say that is not on me. The only person who can guilt you is you, and
Ben,
I'm talking to you, Alicia Wanless. Yes, Mike Feinberg.
there's a really good intelligence community analogy here, actually, that I think fundamentally explains why perhaps we shouldn't count on or trust Alicia Wanless. Um, I never recruited a source in the FBI. I don't think anybody I know in FBI or CIA did, because you can't actually recruit somebody. You can't get an asset to do something they fundamentally don't want to do. All you can do is let them know that a door is open and that there is the possibility for them to do something that they thought maybe was previously impossible.
Right.
And we open the door a lot. We open it as friends. And that Alicia chooses not to walk through it is her choice.
That's right.
The hearth inside is warm. It's well lit. There's
And
comfortable
pronounced
seating.
hearth.
Yeah. It's the door's open. It's always open. And honestly, I don't feel bad that we're guilting her. I feel a little bad that she never accepts the invitation.
I'm just saying, we are not guilting her. She is guilting her. We are simply presenting the facts of her non-observance, non-observance of her obligations to the Greek chorus. Anyway, the sun is shining, with or without Alicia Wanless. The birds are chirping. It's going to be another scorching day, but it's going to be a great one. And folks, you are watching dog shirt TV. And it is a fucking revolution in morning television. And one of the revolutionary features is that when our co hosts don't show up, we don't guilt them. We simply recite the facts. And if they choose to feel guilty about it, that is entirely on them. Another one of the revolutionary features is that when Mike has a parenting or marital faux pas, he races to the show to talk about it. So we're going to turn to that momentarily. But before we do, there's an important thing we have to say. We're not allowed to have fun anymore, but we are allowed to have the not Canada Day, not July 4th uh, Day show with Mike Feinberg's marital and parenting faux pas. Mike, what happened this morning?
So there's actually two. Let's start. Well, do you want to start with the one that involves my whole family or just the one that involves my wife and I?
Well, I think that's really up to you.
All right, let's go chronological. The first is, my wife and I got married late in life. Our son was born late in life. And there were a lot of things that families get that we never knew whether they'd happen for us. So we look forward to these life events. And one of them for me is my child's first Halloween. And I decided I would get thematic costumes for the whole family. And I didn't tell my wife I was doing this. I just got them. And she was less than approving of my choices. I actually have a picture of her. I don't know if we could bring it up, Ben. I have a picture of her in the costume giving me the middle finger. And she's not identifiable in it, so I feel fine.
If you send it to me, I'll bring it up.
I will do that right now.
Can I just point out that we're in June, July right now? Halloween is a ways off.
Chance favors the well prepared.
Okay, so we're getting ready for Halloween now.
Yeah. You have the photo.
The photo will be coming up momentarily.
And Ben, look, Halloween is a year-long project for me.
Right.
I'm re-landscaping our front yard to better fit the animatronics.
Right. No, I'm aware of but I'm just I was just trying to be clear about the fact that this was something that was happening recently, despite. Okay. Keep talking while
So part of the reason I did this though is the company I get the costumes from, they run out. Like they do a limited run for each year of the costumes they've chosen, and you really do have to get them when they first arrive. When they first arrive in the store. So I saw that this one was available and I purchased it because I think there is a thematically similar one that I can do, which I've gotten, and there's a thematically similar one that our son can do. And just suffice to say, it was not met with approval by the other members of my household.
Yeah, that is upsetting. There we go. There is the costume.
Yeah, so there is another piece of the costume which has not arrived yet because it's still in production, but is a replica chainsaw with live sounding effects, and that hopefully lets people know that this costume is the original Leatherface costume from Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I see.
So I got my wife that one. I bought myself a different slasher costume that would be recognizable to the audience, and I really went all out on it. I mean, the mask and the weapon were easy to find. I had to get the rest of the costume custom made, but it was doable. I found somebody on Etsy, and I've got a similar one for our son, but my wife is claiming she's refusing to do it.
And but what happened this morning?
This morning was something totally different. Um, this morning was, I sort of have like a really omnivorous pop culture curiosity and consumption. And I try and play some of that for my son in terms of music and film. So this morning I was sort of doing a tour of the history
Oh
of
wait, we haven't we have important questions about this. Um, DNL wants to know whether the toddler goes as a perp or a victim,
a perp 100%. We grant him agency. He does not, he is his own character.
but he's not a chainsaw.
He is not a chainsaw. I'm not going to reveal the other costumes. I'm just going to say that the world of slashers is a wide and diverse one. And I know everybody's going to think Chucky from Child's Play is the natural one for a kid. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I'm just going to say there's a lot of other possibilities too for a smaller sized human being.
I see. So we're not all
We're
going
not all
as,
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I see. But we're all slashers.
Yes, yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go for it. We're back to today's
Yeah,
profile.
so I almost invariably play different types of music for our baby when we're getting up in the morning. And today for some reason I decided to go with French pop from the 30s up through the 70s. And it started off well.
Does
Charles Trin
French pop include Belgian pop?
if it's in the French language, yeah, that would be
So
fine.
Jacques Brel counts?
Jacques Brel was played.
Okay.
I'm a huge Jacques Brel fan,
Yeah, I
actually.
like Jacques Brel too.
Yeah, I discovered him because one of my favorite musicians from the 60s, Scott Walker, did a whole cover album of Jacques Brel songs where he translated them into English and sang them. But yeah, Jacques Brel was there, Charles Trenet was there, France Gall, Françoise Hardy. And all of this met with approval by everybody in the household. Little guy was bopping around. My wife was pleasingly doing stuff in the kitchen while this was playing. And then I played a duet by Serge Gainsbourg and Jane Birkin called Je t'aime moi non plus. And I apologize, my French pronunciation is utterly atrocious. Um, I think we should play this song as the outro music for today's episode to give people a real understanding of why my wife felt it horribly inappropriate. But I'm
Well, you're
just
going
going
to
to,
have to send me a link to it.
yeah, I could do that. But I'm just going to say that this song, well, it's very much written in the vein of the last chapter of Ulysses. And the sonic landscape that starts as a pop duet um, ends with the sounds of a very physical act. And this was viewed as horribly inappropriate by my wife.
Horribly inappropriate because there was a toddler present, or
Yeah, which my view was,
I mean,
he
toddlers are
doesn't
a
speak
little young to even know what
yeah,
that
he's not going to
is.
know what's going on. He doesn't speak French. So it was just like a weird auditory landscape to him.
Hmm.
But I was overruled.
Overruled meaning turn it off, or overruled you're a bad person. I'm mad at you.
Um, it was one of those I'm more disappointed than mad.
It's sort of like us and Alicia.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Um. Um. Well, all right. I am going to put on a Jacques Brel song in the background. Um. Which everybody can hear except me. I can only hear the Jacques Brel if I put on headphones. I don't have headphones on. But Mike, if you send me this song, I will put it on, and then you got to use YouTube. Uh, um, super easy access. But while Mike is working on that, we will bring in the Jacques Brel. So here's the question. This is the Not Canada Day, not July 4th show. What is the iconic Not July 4th, not Canada Day song?
Song?
Or piece of music. Like, if you had to take a piece of music that represents not being Canada Day or July 4th, what day would you choose?
Well, I don't know that I'd choose a day. The first song that comes to mind is Blame Canada from the South Park film.
Yeah, that's actually a good... all right, so here is the song that Aram thought inappropriate for a small child.
Yep.
And I can't hear it, but everybody else can.
Yeah. It's a great song.
It's a weird experience to be listening to music.
Yeah, and not hearing it.
Yeah. So I get everybody else's reaction. Yeah. So write your reactions to this in the chat. Would you play this for a 2-year-old or a 1-year-old?
No. It's really the end that is going to...
Well, one thing...
K-Brew has a good comment.
I can tell you exactly... I can tell you I would be... I can tell you exactly how many seconds it is to the end. K-Brew says she would be uncomfortable listening to this in a car with her parents. Linda says it has a lullaby kind of style, at least for now. The pictures and the image don't look inappropriate so far. They're mostly romantic Parisian images of the Eiffel Tower and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, the song was, it was released in France in the 70s. The video is not going to be, inappropriate.
Interesting. All right. I think Andrew may have the answer. The national anthem of Iran might be the prototypical anti-July 4th / Canada Day song. So I'm so far, having heard none of this, I'm unimpressed by how shocking it is, Mike.
Yeah, I want to disagree with Andrew about whether Bulls on Parade by Rage Against the Machine would be appropriate, simply because I absolutely hate Rage Against the Machine. I have accepted in my heart that Bruce Springsteen likes their guitarist and he is now a part of the E Street Band, but there has never been an occasion where I voluntarily put on Rage Against the Machine. There have been many occasions where I have commandeered stereos on which it is playing and turned it off.
But how do you feel about the Iranian national anthem?
I'm not a fan of Iran. I don't like the Trump administration. I think it was stupid to go to war with them. But, like, Iran are not good guys. There's no occasion in which I am going to listen to their national anthem.
All right, so what is the prototypical,
anti-July 4th day? There's a clearance.
No.
Oh.
It has to be anti-July 4th,
in this at the same time.
Anti-Canada Day. It's got to be the 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 thing that you would listen to on the day that is self-consciously neither July 4th nor Canada Day.
I mean, there are two songs that immediately come to mind which can hit the American wicket. Canada's a tougher one simply because there aren't as many songs about Canada as there are about
Right.
the United States. I mean, the United States, you've got The Clash's I'm So Bored with the USA is an obvious contender. I would argue the perfect one is Born in the USA, not just because it's a subtle undermining of patriotic tropes, but it was also inspired by the memoir Born on the 4th of July. Bruce Springsteen wrote it after meeting Ron Kovic in
Right,
person
but
for
you
the first
can't
time,
use
but that
Born in
doesn't
the
work for
USA
Canada.
as an anti-Canada Day
Right.
song.
So
So,
I'm
I just think we need a song that stands for, um, I mean, maybe it's like, I listened to an entire podcast yesterday about the history of the Dutch national anthem, which turns out to be completely fascinating, by the way,
hmm.
um, and is the oldest song that currently operates as a national anthem. It was apparently written in 1580, um, and is it's a very interesting story. It's the story of the Dutch revolt, um, but it's a little too obscure, you know.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with America or Canada.
Right.
Like the problem is that Canada and the United States simultaneously have too much and too little in common for there to be
Exactly.
a perfect song about this.
Maybe the Jacques Brel approach is right, and it's a Quebecois song, like for the
Yeah,
francophone thing, because the Quebecois hate us both.
I know, I know.
Um, well, I mean, maybe we need Ev to think about like what the marching song of the Parti Québécois is.
Now I actually don't know Ev at all. We've never spoken or met outside these podcasts. Is she native Quebecois or did she go there for schooling?
Oh
Because
no,
she's
no,
a doctoral student.
she's a
She's native?
Quebecois.
Okay.
She's from Quebec City.
Okay.
And um but she lives in Ottawa these days.
Okay.
So um yeah,
Yeah, I think Matt's onto something. Neil Young might be the way to go. He is Canadian, but he was in one of the archetypal American bands, which is no, I've got one. I
mm,
don't know if it's gonna work. The band's The Night They Drove Old Dixie Down. Um, they are a Canadian music group that embraced Americana, which is not a popular move in Canada. And the song is fundamentally, and they admit, those that are living admit now it was not a good idea. But the song fundamentally romanticizes the Confederacy, which I would argue is one of the most anti-American things you can do. So maybe that.
hmm, hmm.
I mean, but there is this really rich tradition of Canadian. I mean, not really rich. It was basically just the 60s and 70s, but Canadian musicians embracing American tropes. I mean, Neil Young
Right.
joins Crosby,
Joni
Stills, and
Mitchell.
Nash. Yeah, like the whole Laurel Canyon pop scene of the 60s had a disproportionate amount of Canadian expats. And like I said, I was amazed. I grew up listening to the band. They were one of my parents' favorites. And then as I became a huge Bob Dylan fan in high school and college, I learned about the connectivity between the two with the basement tapes and the Royal Albert Hall concert, and I was shocked when I learned they were Canadian because both their sound and their lyrics are so firmly entrenched in Americana that it was mind-blowing to me to learn that they were Canadian.
So I think the answer to John Hawkinson's question is that God Save the Queen is obviously incorrect because the Queen, who's now the King, of course, is the King of Canada too, among other things.
Well, what about a mocking version as, say, that by the Sex Pistols?
Well, that's an interesting idea, but that seems to me like it's fundamentally like anti-Guy Fawkes Day or anti-British rather than anti a non-American, non-Canadian. Nobody would think the Sex Pistols were mocking the United States or mocking Canada. But uh, here's a good trivia question about God Save the King. Who wrote that tune?
I don't know, actually.
Yeah, people don't know. Nobody knows who wrote God Save the King, by the way. We know approximately when it was written, but nobody knows who wrote the words. The music was written by one Franz Joseph Haydn.
No shit.
Yeah. Um, uh, so that is an interesting factoid. I think, yeah, I think we got to work on this. What is the prototypical anti-American, anti-Canadian song?
I am
And
going to look through my music library while we have this discussion in the hopes of finding inspiration.
all right. Um, uh,
I don't know if you guys can hear this, but in the background, what I'm hearing is what's it called? My wife screaming "no mouth" at our child, which makes me believe that I should probably poke my head out and see what he's doing. But you know what? I'm
bring them
not going
in.
to. I have a very firm rule about not mentioning my son's name or putting any images of him online.
Okay, then we won't. Don't bring him in.
I will not.
While you do that, I will address the Great American State Fair question. Um, Andrew asks, have either of us gone to the Great American State Fair? And I'm going to confidently answer this not just on behalf of myself, but on behalf of Mike.
Yeah.
No. And there are two reasons for this. One is that it is really like above 100 degrees outside most days. I can barely walk the dogs.
Yeah, wait, let's give people an idea of this, Ben. I got home from MS Now's studios last night at 8:30. The sun was not shining. It was evening. It was still 97 degrees out.
Yeah, it was not. I went to have a drink and dinner with the estimable Rene DeResta yesterday and emerged at about 8:15, 8:30, and it was 96 degrees. It's pretty brutal here.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Um, uh, the crowds are so sparse down there. By the way, there's a great side of this fair, which is that they moved the Smithsonian Folklife Festival this year indoors, which they should do all the time.
But have you seen the plans or read about what the Smithsonian was going to do for 250 before Trump took over the mall? It was
No,
actually a great idea. I think they were going to do um miniature recreations of famous festivals in American history up and
cool.
down the mall. Everything from the World's Fair to Burning Man to Coachella, like just, you know, and they got real musical names to appear. Like I
Right.
haven't seen the full list and I don't remember who was on it, but like people you would actually want to go see in concert, not
Okay,
the
but I'm just
dregs of
saying,
Millie
I'm
Vanilli.
just saying, you know, you don't have to hand it to Trump ever. the idea of having the Folklife Festival, if you're going to do it, Smithsonian, in July, the idea of having it indoors is great. Do it indoors. It's really unpleasant out in DC. I would spend a lot of time at the Folklife Festival in general. I'm not spending a lot of time on the mall outdoors in the Folklife Festival. Sorry, not happening. Anyway, they moved it indoors this year. I think that's great. And but here's the thing. I talked about it with Holly. Should we go to the Great American State Fair to but then if you go, you increase the crowd size. And keeping the crowd size small and embarrassing seems to me important. So we thought, well, maybe we should go and just not, you know, just to film it and mock it. And we figured enough other people are doing that. Better to keep the crowd size small by not going.
To say nothing of the fact that the stage is a death trap, and large pieces
Yeah, keep
started
falling off.
collapsing on the performers while they were rehearsing.
Which is, by the way, I mean, that's dangerous and bad. Also hilarious and makes for good content. Go watch it, spread it around. It's you're not going to keep people safe by not spreading it around and mocking it and making sure that everybody in the United States sees how embarrassing this is. Look, I want to address a major crime that took place in my city, um, and
Just
uh,
one.
and I like it's a serious crime. The U.S. attorney for this district gave a little press conference about it yesterday, and it was worse. Mike is a former FBI agent, guys,
And former attorney. Like I
uh,
could, yeah, I mean,
yeah, and he knows that this is, sometimes you have, a crime that wouldn't be that bad if it was committed by a person who of no prominence.
mhm.
If it is committed by, for example, nobody really cares if you, not you, but one goes to, North Korea or Vietnam. But if you're Jane Fonda and you go there, or if you're Ezra Pound and you go make propaganda tapes for Mussolini, then it's a bigger deal, right? The prominence matters. So if you are a
Wait, we cannot let a mention of Ezra Pound pass without noting his little-known contribution to the history of the United States intelligence community.
mm, not known
He
by me.
he was a mentor to James Jesus Angleton
Oh, oh.
when Angleton was still writing poetry and thinking of embarking on a literary career.
Okay. Well, too bad he wasn't a better mentor because James Jesus Angleton would have been a
It was
better.
pronounced Jesus.
I know, but
Yeah.
I like the the Anglophile mispronunciation. James Jesus Angleton would have been better to stick to uh, uh, writing poetry rather than get wrapped up with this whole Kim Philby becoming an obsessive
I
blah blah
have
blah thing.
I have
Anyway,
a much more forgiving attitude of
yeah,
James
you
Angleton than
would,
you, but
being
yeah,
a CI guy.
yeah.
All right. I want to get back to the point that I want to make, which is sometimes a crime becomes more important to prosecute because of the prominence of the perpetrator. And that is the situation when an Olympian in a prominent sport like whitewater canoeing, um, somebody who is renowned and famous the world over, who you've all heard of, who's like a household name, when you um, get up in the morning and you're listening to French pop and your spouse is telling you that the French pop is inappropriate to for children because it has heavy breathing noises in it, or so I've heard. You occasionally pause to say the name of this athlete whom you both, just woke up with his name on your lips, and you trade his name lovingly. When somebody like that commits a a felony and tears up all,
Wait. Do we know it was a felony? Like, I'm
it's
still
been
not.
charged as a felony. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. When somebody like that commits a felony and tears up already peeling pieces, uh, allegedly, and we have to say allegedly because he's innocent until proven guilty, but it's 1 square foot of blue
Peeled off
goop,
paint. Yeah.
peeled off paint from the bottom of, you just have to prosecute that, and you have to make an example of him. And and it's worse because he was an Olympian, just and a famous person whose name we were all just speaking extemporaneously. So I want to
In
say
canoeing, because you talk about
whitewater
it all the
canoeing.
time.
Wait, is
Yeah,
it canoeing or kayaking? I thought
it
it
was
was whitewater.
canoeing.
Okay.
I think it
Um,
was canoeing.
Yeah,
Okay.
you have to ask Ev Gamon, who was a competitive canoeer and who still sometimes coaches canoe. Um, uh, Look, it's important to make examples of these people, just like it was important for us to make Alicia feel guilty this morning, and you know, so that we don't encourage the idea that this sort of behavior is okay. And so I just want to say to Janine Pirro, um, good on you for bringing this case. Um, uh,
I hope she
Prosecute it to the,
celebrated with the best box of wine she
yeah,
could find.
the best Costco red available. Please prosecute it to the full extent of the law. And I just want to say to the 12 members of the jury who were going to be picked in Superior Court of the District of Columbia, where I have served on a jury. Um, I have total confidence in you to do the right thing here. Um, I think this case is an outrage, and you should take your oaths seriously and make sure that justice is done. Alicia Wanless, we devoted the entire monologue to mocking you today.
And like I wore my best shirt.
Wait, you got it. We got to pin it so that people can wait. Turn around again.
I don't want to. My hair's bad back there.
It is a 250 shirt. Alicia,
It's
with
tacky as heck. I got it in Daytona Beach or somewhere
wow.
near there.
But we've got to discuss with you the important question of the day, because now we have a Canadian here to help address it. Today is not Canada Day.
Today's my mom's birthday.
Happy birthday,
Happy
Alicia's
birthday.
mom.
Tomorrow's my brother's birthday.
Today is not Canada Day, and notwithstanding the US calendar, which says it is July 4th as observed, it is not July 4th. And so it seems to me to be the right day for the ultimate anti-Canada, anti-US song. And since
Is that Bryan Adams?
I don't know. The question is, what is the prototypical? Is it a Quebec nationalist song?
Like,
Is
what
it
song is critical of both countries and populations at
right,
the
something
same
that is
time?
contemptuous of both the United States and Canada?
I've been looking through, like, finding one that's critical of the United States is easy.
We might have to write it. I think it would have to be called
satirical
"You
song from
Suck
1999
Too."
film South Park. You people
That's-
are the only ones who make hateful songs about us. It's only you.
No,
The rest of the world is just
do.
like, leave Canada alone.
No. Alicia, Neil Young has made plenty of songs critical of the United States.
It's Canadian.
Quebecers.
That's my point. Like,
Quebecers write songs that aren't cool with Canada.
Oh, wait. Oh, Mike, you've taken me wrong. Of course we write songs critical about you. But
Yeah, that's
nobody
okay.
in the rest of the world writes critical songs about us.
Okay, but I want the song that stands for the 363 days a year that are not Canada Day and not July 4th.
And I really want it to be...
He's got his Evel Knievel uniform out. He said he was going to.
Yeah,
So,
Joel the
Wanless,
Nerd
I will
here
raise you
with...
an Evel Knievel outfit.
Yeah, so Joel, for those
With
who are
pants.
joining has outdone Alicia with a full Evel Knievel bodysuit.
So this is a mountain biking uniform. Me and my
Is that
idiot buddies
propaganda, though?
started an enduro team just so that we could get Evel Knievel costumes.
Wow. Evel Knievel,
We
by
made
the
up a
way,
whole team for it. It's called Team Fancy Pants.
Australian.
Did you need an excuse? That's the
Yeah,
first
why not just
question.
do it? Like,
Well, I had to convince a local company that makes this sort of thing to make them for us, so we had to have a minimum order.
So they're custom?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep, custom Evel Knievel mountain bike outfits. So now here's the question I was asking the lovely Brenda yesterday. The little teeny town that is close to the cabin, obviously, which is where I am, has a little 4th of July parade. Should I go there and ride some wheelies down Main Street
Yes.
on my mountain bike?
No,
Yes.
no, I take it back. I take it back. I take it back. No, I hate
Why not?
noise. It's
No,
just,
on a mountain
it's
bike.
horrible.
The mountain bike. No
Mountain
noise.
bike. Okay,
On a
yeah,
mountain
no. Oh, yeah. 100%. Do that. Do
I don't
that.
have
That's
a motorcycle.
Nice.
Well,
Good.
Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway,
But, so why wouldn't you? Because it's like Trump era?
I don't know. Just embarrass my family in front of everybody, something like that.
No, definitely
It's
do it.
more a public embarrassment issue.
Yeah. First of all, we need to seize back kitschy displays of patriotism.
I concur.
yeah,
This is
100%.
once you have ceded this ground to the Trumpists, you've lost. Kitsch with appropriate degrees of both irony and lack of irony, we need to own that shit.
Agreed. And I
and-
did wear this to my adult mountain bike lesson this week, as per my question to the public on Blue Sky, and I didn't get fired.
Excellent.
So-
Yeah. So
All
one
right,
of the
I
things-
found an anti-Canada song
I
Oh,
found
good.
an
Not
anti-North America
anti-US.
song. It's called North American Scum.
by LCD Sound System.
Yeah.
North
not a bad
American
one.
scum. Whoa.
I feel like
Well,
that's
maybe-
the closest
But
we're
it's
gonna
more
get.
critical of hipsters than it is critical of the country.
It also
of the
takes
country.
Mexico down with us. Is that
Yeah.
fair?
That's okay. That they can be collateral damage. So wait, let's
Just like
play
Guzma.
North American. Now we're getting somewhere. North American.
Ben, I've got it here on iTunes if there's a way for me to just plug it in.
No, let me pull it up because then I can. Here it is.
Alicia, are you actually an LCD Sound System fan, or did you just randomly find the song?
Google was my friend.
They're a decent band.
I've never heard of them before.
I've seen them in concert a few times.
Well, I think again, I can't hear this, so we can only go by your all's reaction and we can go with I don't know if this is going to satisfy people, but I think we may have to write the ultimate non-Canadian, non-American.
Well, I'm
I
gonna-
don't understand why you're always taking us down with you.
I'm gonna throw in another contender.
Yeah.
The band The Arcade Fire is mostly Canadians, one American, one person who was raised in Haiti, and they have an entire album called The Suburbs, which is hypercritical of the sort of places in which they were all raised, which are Canadian and American suburbs.
There's a whole lot of ruralness here.
No, I know, but the album is called The Suburbs, and it is a reaction to growing up in Canadian and American suburbs. I mean, that's what every song is about. So maybe that could count. I'm looking at it right now. There's a couple songs on there, like Sprawl 2, Suburban War, or The Suburbs itself, which are really critical of that sort of North American suburban culture, but I don't know if that's
Yeah, but I don't think we want to be just
suburban. Yeah.
I think we want to be anti-urban and anti-rural too.
Yeah.
Okay. On Andrew's suggestion, I have asked Claude to write lyrics for the humorous anti-American, anti-Canadian anthem, and it came up with this: "Oh, North America," which is actually pretty funny. "Oh, land of the free and home of the brave, where the portions are huge and the coffee's a wave."
This is like the Buffalo Roam. Why?
You've got 50 states and you can't name them all, and your World Series only plays down the hall. Ugh.
Yeah, and I'm also opposed. Like, after our discussion over coffee the other day, I am less anti-AI for certain purposes than I originally was. But I don't think we could use an AI written song for this.
No. We absolutely can't, especially because it's shit.
Yeah.
Also, because it's really targeting you and not us.
No, the second verse is about Canada. The second verse is, "Oh, Canada, you're so polite you can't fight. You apologize to lampposts. You bump in the night. You've got 2 whole seasons. It's winter than June, and your money looks like it was drawn by a loon," etc., etc.
It's got a loon on it. It's called a loony.
It's terrible. All right, so we're not using Claude for this.
That wasn't even offensive for us. Like,
It wasn't
except
really
for the lack of
offensive
fighting thing. We
for
are
us.
good fighters. Very scrappy.
Ankle biters.
No.
All right, so
it's like our national mythos, like the battles we won that the rest of the Allies couldn't. Come on.
Yeah, not to mention the fact that you survived the War of 1812.
Yeah.
How's that White
Alicia-
House doing?
Alicia, by the way, is semi-obsessive about the War of 1812. And when she was in Washington, I took her to Brookville, Maryland, which was capital of the United States for one day when the White House burned and James Madison had to decamp to Brookville, Maryland, out Georgia Avenue from here, and she stood triumphant over the house that Jemmy Madison spent an evening in. Folks, so Alicia, what is on your mind this morning on Not Canada, not Canada Day, and how did you celebrate Canada Day?
I drove home from Montreal. Well, no, Michael drove home from Montreal. we had a workshop.
It wasn't like a big moving experience for you. Canada Day?
No, I had to work, and then because we had a workshop, and some colleagues a colleague was up from the US, and so we were all convened in Montreal, and that was checkout on the 1st. Actually, I filmed a podcast. That's what I did on July 1st. No, but Ottawa has a big celebration, but this year it got rained out. And rained out is like an understatement. It was shelter in place warnings and threats of tornadoes kind of thing.
So did you interpret that, or did anybody interpret that as God's wrath against Canada?
No, I think it's climate change.
Oh, okay. Just checking.
That's
Canada
just my
comes
opinion.
up with more sensible explanations than many of our leaders do for these things.
That's not to say that that's a uniform opinion across the country, but it is my opinion.
Well, I'm just checking because, if first of all, July 4th never gets rained out. And this year we are having, by the way, enough
It's going to be a
explosives.
fucking nightmare this year.
I've heard
People
it.
are leaving town because of what the environmental effects are going to be.
Well, I just want to say I drove randomly on my way to and from dinner with Renee DeResta yesterday. I drove randomly by the barges that are now parked out in the Potomac River that are going to launch these fireworks. And they are enormous, like
Yeah.
way bigger than anything I've seen before. And the volume of explosives here is going to be epic. It's
The
going to like
largest in history.
we couldn't take out Iran with but if we had used these bombs, it would have finished off the Islamic Republic once and for all. And I just want to say that I am proud to be an American and to have 45 minutes of particulate matter exploding over the atmosphere that'll be bigger than anywhere else and much bigger than anything in Canada. Yes, Alicia.
Are you scared that the management of the fireworks may be like that military parade and the reflecting pool repaint job?
Yes.
Let's just put it this way. I plan to be sheltering in place at home.
At the cabin, as far away as you can get.
I'm not going downtown while the incompetent morons who can't paint a reflecting pool such that an Olympian canoer can't rip up the bottom of it and algae spread everywhere play with 45 minutes of explosives. I'm just not doing it.
Yeah, I'm really worried for my friends and colleagues. But also, if I were to like write a satirical novel about your country, this feels like a befitting end for your capital.
Well, the Canadians and the British couldn't burn down the White House and prevent it rebuilding, but we can do it ourselves. Don't worry. American ingenuity. We're going to finish off our own capital.
I'm actually growing more and more concerned with this conversation.
It's going to be
And I'm there
a blast.
for it.
It's going to be a blast.
You know, it's maybe what we should do is find a place behind it all to live stream it from.
Oh no. Just go out of the city. Get out of the city. Get out of the city now.
Yeah.
So look, I want to give advice to everybody about this because I have lived in DC for 40 years now, and I have very good DC instincts. My advice is faced with, I know this sounds counterintuitive, but you have a choice. Everybody in DC has a choice. Be inside with air conditioning or be outside where it will be literally 100 degrees and there will be explosives operated by morons. And by large volumes of explosives operated by people with extremely low IQs. And so you have a choice.
Who don't like laws and regulations either. So there's
Right. So you have a choice. You can either be outside dying of heat stroke if you don't get blown up, right? If you survive long enough to die of heat stroke. Or
they're also not allowing water. The doors to the event close at 6:30. You have to get there before 6:30 in order to attend. The show does not start until sometime between 9:30 and 10. And if you are a spectator, you are only allowed to bring one 16-ounce water bottle in.
Right. So you're going to die. Or you can be at home with a beer. Now, all of my 40 years of living in DC experience says, if you're MAGA, go.
And they will. They will.
Go there.
This is like that fucking Lake Ozark COVID
wait.
party.
Watch the show. Wait And if you feel thirsty, fuck it.
Suck it
Stick
up.
with it. Just if you get really hot, get
out in the sun. You know what
sweat it
cures
out.
heat stroke? More sun.
Right. It's because you're not tough enough. And I want you to learn to be a man and go there. And if you're not MAGA, you know what to do.
Yeah, you know what, Ben? I want to
I don't
add
want
to
people
that.
to die.
I want to add to this. Because I think this is good advice. Masculinity, the masculine ideal, it's dying in America.
That's right.
And we need to fix it. So if
Sounds
you
like you guys
if you
trying to get me on
agree
the
with
show.
that, if you agree with that sentiment, I want you to be a man and go to this. Be
Yeah.
a man, just like
Bring
masculine
raw
identity.
steak.
No, just like masculine identitarian
Yeah.
Josh Hawley was when he riled up the crowd on January 6th.
Except don't do the
Be like that,
fleeing
but
part.
don't run like a coward
Right.
once you actually get what you've been instigating.
And when the bombs start going off,
In
and
the
you
air.
can't
be
breathe.
a man and stay where you are.
Wait, let's be clear. When we say bombs, we're talking about fireworks
The
because
bombs bursting in
air.
air, right?
Yeah.
When the fireworks start going on, and if it feels like they're close to you, don't move.
That's part of the fun.
Because that is what women would do.
can
That
I share my genuine 4th of July activity that I've done almost every day for the past
Please.
decade or so? I refuse to go to fireworks on the mall. I lived in DC, so I didn't see fireworks the entire time. I hate crowds and I hate heat. If
Me
you
too.
live in DC or Los Angeles or Southern Virginia, which are the places I've lived for the past 2 decades, fireworks are a non-starter. So I did a little bit of a different tradition that I would encourage everybody who lives in the DC area to do. Every 4th of July, when the sun goes down, I turn on the air conditioning and I watch a film that actually makes me think about America. And I would recommend this. It's entertaining. You don't have to deal with crowds. You don't have to deal with heat. And it's a good excuse to watch old John Ford films. So tomorrow, I think my family and I will be doing a double feature of Young Mr. Lincoln with Henry Fonda, which is my favorite Americana film of all time and literally makes me weep. And then one that I have never been sympathetic to until the second Trump administration, which is also a Henry Fonda, John Ford film, and that is The Grapes of Wrath. I've been thinking a lot about Tom Joad's final speech this summer, and I think it's a good call to arms for all of us.
We're going to leave it there. Alicia didn't celebrate Canada Day except with a long drive, but happy birthday to her mom. Mike Feinberg not going to the mall, but watching Henry Fonda movies. And folks, I am going to be ignoring the loud noises and celebrating America in my own way, which is vibe coding tools for people to investigate federal government activity. And you should remember that July 3rd, no matter what the federal government says, is not July 4th. And today is not Canada Day. No matter what anybody says, not that anybody says it is, but July 4th will be tomorrow. And you should celebrate it in your own way. We're going to be back on Monday. I don't know who the co-hosts are going to be. Probably won't be Alicia. I don't know who the guests are going to be, but you'll be there. And I'll be there. And if we don't get blown up beforehand, it'll be a blast.